This is a really important honor for this library because it represents who and what we are as an agency in Chesterfield County, and it represents what this county tries to do in every instance. But it just so happens we're the library, we did it in this way, and this is representative of who we are and what we are, and we're honored to receive it.
Well, my first thoughts when the pandemic was real and shut us down was, what are we going to do? What can we do? Ultimately, we wanted to keep the staff safe. We wanted to keep the community safe. We wanted to provide some kind of a service because we know how important the service is to the community. But how were we supposed to do that?
On March 12th, the governor declared a state of emergency in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Schools, colleges, and universities in the area have closed for extended periods of time, and multiple steps have been taken by the governor and the Virginia Department of Health to limit the spread of COVID-19, including social distancing and other recommendations to reduce the potential for community spread.
We were told that we were going to be closed for the whole school year, and I was so upset because I knew that I would not be my students' teacher anymore. So there was a lot of tears, of course a lot of fear.
The parent in me panicked, but the teacher in me began to plan. And so I quickly realized I had to keep these kids happy, learning, and busy.
There was no way we were going to lock the doors. We needed to provide the service. In our community, county administration agreed that we were helpful to the mental health, to the social, and to the emotional health and well-being of the community.
We are addicts. I mean, like, we are avid readers here. That is who we are.
There's a fear of the unknown because you don't really know how many people you'll be interacting with.
I just happened to have maybe 10 books that we hadn't returned yet when everything shut down.
However, with management reassurance, we have so many safety precautions in place. So with that assurance, I was confident that we will be protected.
And within 1 week, Chesterfield County Public Library had their curbside system, at least from my perspective, up and running seamlessly.
Thank you for calling Chesterfield County Library Curbside Service. This is Susan. How can I help you?
It's not just about books. It's about the world that books represent. Books are an escape, books are a source of learning, a source of inspiration. That was a source of comfort for them.
But it made me really feel like they were invested and that they cared, that I wasn't just a number, that I was a family that they wanted to take care of.
We started a program that we called Learning Pods. This was during the time when our buildings were still closed. We could not open yet. And yet we went through our branches, we mapped out spaces, we figured out a way where people could come in for learning purposes to use our space.
I'm an early childhood special education teacher, and I work with 2-year-olds and their parents. We had no idea how we were going to provide these services directly to these little 2-year-olds with their parents there. But in addition to that, we needed to provide a group activity. And we had absolutely nowhere to do it because all of the local community preschools were full. And we were just losing our minds trying to figure that out.
So they could be here using the technology and using the Wi-Fi to learn uninterrupted.
So I think that this is a great experience just to get back into routine. I also enjoy the fact that I'm in my own room, so I don't have to worry about socially distancing. I just feel really safe and really able to focus in the study pod.
There's not many places where you can go and sit down in a quiet place and do research if it's research that you want to do. I sometimes take calls, so I need a quiet space, and there are conference rooms here that I can book. So it's very convenient and accessible.
I credit all the staff who came up with the creative ideas and the notions of using the cell phones in a creative way, to have the folks received one at a time, handing the material back and forth, and then the whole issue of story times that were online. We used all the resources that were available at the time.
Go for it.
Whether it was during the pandemic, before, after, partnerships are a key part of how we can deliver the services that we do. With mental health, social services. During the pandemic, we had the Trees of Hope program where customers would write little notes of inspiration. The librarians and the staff here have been trained on how to administer Narcan because we know this is a crisis in our community. And so we wanted to offer training to community members to be able to do that as well. We partnered with the Red Cross. The Red Cross was doing blood drives, and so we actually used a meeting room in the library to have blood drives where people could come in and donate blood. As a result of that, many lives were going to be saved due to the blood that was collected. So 2020 was an election year as well, and we started a new program here in collaboration with the Registrar's Office in Chesterfield County. For early voting, citizens could come to the library and cast their vote in a safe and socially distanced manner. In fact, 30% of the votes cast in that 2020 election were cast at the library.
We could not have done it without the library, and our students would not have gotten their services in the same way. So I think they're basically, the Chesterfield County Public Libraries are the unsung heroes of the pandemic for our program, and I think for Chesterfield County Public Schools.
This award, for me, also represents a real recognition of the staff. That's because they love serving people, they love helping people, they love offering what we do to people in the community. They know what a difference it makes. They see it every day.
I have an elementary ed background, and so I know the importance of keeping kids learning, keeping them excited to read, excited about books. They were quite literally the highlight of our quarantine, and so I'd like to say thank you, because for families like ours, it made all the difference in our quarantined COVID experience. The world was at our fingertips in our family room. It was pretty magical.